Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Intel Extreme Masters Qualifier, as we are going to get into Neeb versus Impact, and Impact has chosen the color yellow. Thank you, Impact. So let's jump right on into Habitation Station, as we have up to the top left-hand corner. It will be our blue dude. He's a blue dude. I promise. It is, of course, Mr. Neeb in our barcode. And then up to the top right-hand corner, it's Impact.
Stealth.
It's calm down. This is This is quicker than I was expecting. But already you can see that Neeb here with his little probe scouting out.
Actually, it's pretty bad manner to pick yellow on this map. I guess we can see decently with the minimap, thanks to the minimap.
As long as he's on creep.
Yeah.
Golden was so angry at that he left. Oh, he's going to the gold base.
Are we gonna see the carrier build here, and which variation too? Because it's possible to go for it like pretty early, you know, stay on 3 bases, just get as many of these guys as you can. The map being super small, obviously, like it can have its pros and cons.
Yeah.
For either possibilities, but yeah, Impact going for the gold base here is not too surprising. We're seeing a lot of that already back when Habitation Station used to be one of the main maps in the map pool. It's very hard to attack into this. Back then, though, the game was very different. It was all about the force fields that you could get. You could do like Immortal, Soul Train, all-ins and stuff, and Zerg's only option was, you know, Zergling Roach for the most part against this kind of attacks. Whereas now, with the Ravagers coming into play, with the Banelings, which, by the way, if you get centrifugal hooks, you get +10 hit points as well per Baneling. That's pretty crazy to think about. And the Hydralisks in particular, too. Like, I feel like no matter what happens here from Neeb, unless Impact does something crazy, we're likely to see Hydralisks here, especially like short rush distance like this.
Very, very strong. Let's see how this is going to go. If anybody's going to lead the way for Protoss, one of them is certainly Neeb, as, of course, he did win that Kesper Cup, which I watched with glee a few months back, I think now, or a month or two back. It was very cool.
Let's talk a little bit about the Hydralisks, because I keep talking about how good they are now, but I feel like I need to mention why. So, Evolved Muscular Augments is now 2 different upgrades.
Kind of reverted back to how it used to be.
Basically, yeah. Evolved Muscular Augment actually upgrades will increase the Hydralisk base movement speed by 25%. It costs 150 and 150, and research time is 71 seconds. A lot of roaches are being made. I'm not sure if Impact wants to be aggressive or if he knows the adepts are going to come, because it feels like it's way too early. So he might want to be very aggressive. But yeah, second upgrade, Evolved Groove Spines. That's the big game changer. Upgrades will increase the Hydralisk attack range by 2. So they will have 7 range now, which is a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And also the Hydralisk movement speed on the creep is going to be the same as other units. So basically they're going to be pretty darn fast on the creep.
Full wall in here from Neeb as well, realizing that there is the potential of a little bit of a Ling Roach attack. Even more Lings actually being produced. And we have a Ravager being morphed in as well here to try and push on forwards against this. So very aggressive play coming out of Impact to start things off. Yeah,
Neeb's very pylon heavy here. He's going to have at least 1 overcharge to work with. And if he can get at least 1 or 2 warp in, Impact going completely all in. Oh, he did a rewall behind, so that overcharge sure is going to do some damage. Neeb needs to rewall right now. He needs to warp in units as well. I'm not sure why he's making probes. He should realize that this is the last thing that he needs.
Yeah.
He needs units. He warps in Stalkers, which are going to be very nice because you can pull them back very fast. Make sure you dodge the bile.
And he's going to try and break down this wall again. Another Ravager being morphed in from one of the weakened roaches. Those Lings are coming in as well. If they get on top of those Stalkers, they're going to die very fast. And yes, they do. This is actually a big, big damage dealer here for Impact. Trying to get on towards as many of those probes and Stalkers as he can do with the Lings. The Roaches flood on forward. More Lings reinforcing. Neeb in a lot of trouble.
It took forever to re-wall, and I think Impact being able to get in there with more Lings reinforcing is taking out so many units right now.
For an overcharge again, he'll be able to clean this up by the looks of things if these Lings stick around in a similar place. But is it enough here? It's 18 workers to 23. Neeb has managed to hold on just barely.
Yeah.
He's trying to re-wall. Lings, oh, they don't manage to sneak past those Zealots just being warped in.
Keep in mind, he has Resonating Glaives here. Yeah. So if Neeb keeps on making Adepts and Probes at the same time, he's going to force more units out of Impact, and he's going to pull very far ahead economically. Right now, Impact He's getting drones, which means he's not going to be getting as many units as he could be. Oh, actually, That one, Stalker.
Oh, he
Oh!
didn't move it from the pile.
Wow. He went for it and he got it.
Yeah. Oh, well. And that now leaves Impact in a weird spot because he was only on 18 workers during all of that. He's started to drone up a bit behind it, getting a few more roaches, but...
Yeah, but like I said, he cannot drone up because Neeb obviously is going to be warping in a lot of adept. He went for that 4th gate as part of a wall, so that's even more adepts here that he's going to be making.
Yeah, he sees the chrono boost into the gateways now. He knows. He has to know that this is coming.
Like, if you see those adept shades, make sure you check the vision of Neeb so we can really highlight the 2 vision range instead of the 9, because he really doesn't see much now with this.
I already did it at the beginning.
Oh, wow.
You can see it here as well.
You see nothing?
Blind adept. Poor little guys. That spine
He
crawler,
can just go for the main, by the way. He has way more speed than these roaches. Yeah, look.
he wanted to make more spines by the looks of things with drones, but he just didn't have the minerals to
He
do
should let this go through. Having resonating glaives there, he's going to snipe everything. That Queen and Roach are going to be very exposed. He can shade out of there if he's in too much danger. Wait, what? Where is he going?
Now he's going to be trapped for the moment, I suppose. He just wants to get as far away now. He realizes his
He must have misclicked. Maybe try to do it on the minimap, but Impact is overwhelmed anyway, and GG is called. Neeb with a solid defense.
Quick game there. It feels like, looking at how Impact approached that game, it's like he really doesn't want to go further into the game against Protoss. Just kind of wants to rely on some of the more aggressive tendencies that are still the norm, still the same as previous.
It was a clutch hold. Like, I really thought for a moment that Impact, after he initially went in, I thought he was going to be able to kill most of the units and kill enough probes for him to be, you know, ahead enough that he can drone up and be in a comfortable position. But that was a very, very close hold. But Neeb did enough and didn't lose too many probes that he would be behind.
Well, that's the thing. It's not the fact that he lost some probes here or there, but he knew that obviously he has to sacrifice a few probes at least, knowing that his opponent has gone that aggressively into that. And, you know, losing a few is okay when your opponent is on such an economical deficit, I suppose. But it's good to see how that kind of played out in the end. And now, I'm wondering what map we're going to be on.
The top side of the bracket really is faster than... Well, actually, to be honest, the next opponent is already waiting in Bjol here for one of these 2 guys, so...
I suppose we can follow on through, whoever actually gets on, to be honest. Accepting the invite. You know what's really weird? Is the frequency of games compared to what I've been used to the whole year. Because in Heroes, you get like 15-minute breaks between each game at least.
Yeah. The draft takes a long time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's part of the game, I suppose.
No, there is no draft. There is only a map veto that takes 2 minutes.
Because there's only 2 people. They just have to say, which map do you want to play on? Not that one? All right, great. Let's go. That's brilliant. All right, Newkirk Precinct. Our first time for today. And it looks like these guys are good to go. Neeb. Show us the way. Impact might just go aggressive again, though.
This side of the bracket is ridiculous, by the way. Like, the winner of Neeb Impact will play Bjol. And then the winner of that match to qualify for the Intel Extreme Masters Gyeonggi will face Innovation or Hero. What?
That's great.
This is... this is ridiculous.
Did Bjol win an IEM? Or am I thinking... What has Bjol won in the past?
He did well in some Korean tournaments. He won a GSL, I think.
Was it? Okay.
It was Revival that won in Intel Extreme Masters, I think, the Shanghai one, no?
Because I'm looking at that side, and that's
I'm very bad at remembering results, by the way.
Sorry. But I'm looking at that side of the bracket, and it's like the top 4, all of them might have been in a finals of an Intel Extreme Masters. If Neeb's actually to go on through. But anyway, let's get into the game. To the bottom left-hand corner, it is Mr. Neeb in the blue. And the bottom right, we have in the yellow, it is Impact, who went for a very aggressive style there. Was unsuccessful.
Yeah, Bjorn actually didn't win GSL. He took 2nd.
Okay.
Lost to Rain.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that was about a year.
And he took 2nd in Star League. Twice.
Sorry, Bjorn.
Oh, yeah,
he
I remember.
Lost a hero in Innovation.
Yeah. I remember, he started to be considered a little bit of the new Kong guy.
Yeah, I remember now. Poor guy. Oh well. Looks like Impact's going to be changing things up a bit. He's going for his hatchery first on this map. So that's fine. And let's see what Mr. Neeb is going to do. Because the thing is that Neeb didn't really go into that game anticipating himself to be that aggressive.
Yeah. He reacted nicely. I would have liked to see him re-roll a little bit faster than he did. Because honestly, it kind of feels like a free win. Like if you know this is coming and you wall off properly with that many buildings, and the units don't get in, you're gonna win super easily. Like the Zerg will basically leave right after the rush has fell. But now he lost quite a few units to it. Not enough that he would have been super far behind, but he lost a bunch. So.
Well, we're already up to 18 drones against 20 probes at the moment here with the Chrono Boost just going into this Nexus and starting to wall off. I always remember this wall off being a bit of a pain way back when on Newkirk.
It's not one of the, I mean, it's not one of the hardest ones, but not the easiest either. Bring back Ohana.
What, so I can hear everybody say, what does Ohana mean? For about the billionth time.
Mr. Bitter doesn't cast anymore.
No, that's true.
You would be pretty safe.
Yeah, true, true.
Even though I'm sure he would tweet it.
Yeah, oh yes. You'd be in there like swimwear. Well, as we got this Adept on the way, and Overlord will see that Chrono Boost into that gateway. So, still sticking with it. As I say, it seems that the lack of vision, I was curious, especially for Neeb, if that was going to affect his Adept usage, the little bit of change in the vision, but clearly not.
Yeah.
He loves his Adepts. He had a lot of success with them in the past.
That pylon in his main is interesting, actually, in Neeb's here, because it kind of leaves your middle line exposed in terms of overcharge, but you can hide some building back there very easily here with this.
And looking at how far that is back, I mean, he might just go into the Resonating Glaives once again there with that Twilight Council. Definitely has options, though. Robo Facility going down as well. If he went for a Dark Shrine and tried to lift some DTs in, then that could be pretty good.
It feels like if the vision was still the same for the Adept here, he would have cancelled the first transfer, but now he kind of had to go through to have enough vision to see the entire main. Like, his speed was actually going. How much gas had been mined is like a very important information as well. So you want to know if the opponent might be dropping, maybe try and spot an Evo as well. But now, I guess he did see that quite a few gas was mined. Probably knows that it's going to be Pneumatized Carapace, and Neeb's going to open with one of the newer standard builds that a lot of Protosses are going for. It's the double Archon, or like DT drop into double Archon harassments.
Yeah.
That's why you see 3 additional gateways. So the goal is to warp in 4 Dark Templars. Usually most Protosses, they harass with them at first and then morph them into 2 Archons later. But sometimes you see 2 Archons immediately if they think there is too many Zerglings.
Yeah, I think I saw this on, was it Dark or Sue's stream? They're watching it a few days ago on Vani Research Station. And it certainly...
Who?
On Dark or Sue's against them.
Ah, okay.
So...
Oh yeah, at Home Story Cup, we saw this open a lot, actually.
Yeah?
Like,
okay.
Guys like SOS were using this a lot and doing very, very well with it, actually.
Yeah. It looks strong, because, I mean, not only are you putting on harassment, you're forcing the Zerg to take precautionary measures, and then, in effect, you're keeping them back at home for quite a long time whilst you transition. Seems
I think
good.
it was Stats as well. Like, Stats was using this, and then he was having perfect games for, like, the first... I don't know how many minutes, but basically he killed like 25 units and lost 0. And he still lost some of these games.
Well, he could even just lose this expansion completely if he focuses it down.
And I think that's what Neeb was hoping for. Their Impact could be in a lot of trouble. That Spore's going to be sniped before any of the DTs would fall.
Just focus the hatchery and it's going to fall.
And there's so many Queens actually down there. He needs to be careful. War Prism, by the way. He's got less hit points than before. Yeah. It's got 80, I think, instead of 100.
This tactic seems so much stronger because you can pick up from such a distance. Oh, actually picking up some Zerglings as well now. Going to use those to flood into the main base. He got himself a few worker kills. Where is that Dark Templar?
You know how War Prism always used to get away with no hit points, by the way. Like they would die now if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Loses 1 DT there before making any Archon, but sniping that third base is such a nice lead to have.
Lings are being annoying in the main base.
A sad link drop.
Yeah, I think he got a few workers, but beyond that, not much else. Zealot Charge now being researched as well here. And because one Dark Templar did die, we'd need to warp in another one to actually start morphing them into those Archons for the aggression. But again, you can pick them up from so far away that they're very, very safe.
The movement speed of Zealots, by the way, when they have charge now, is 4.13 instead of 3.15. So expect them to look more like speedlings than they look pretty fast for sure. They already were fast with these legs, but
yeah, very quick.
Now even quicker.
You can see he realizes Archons have already been morphed in, trying to lift away some of those Overlords. Move them away as quickly as possible. But here
Nice
comes the
four,
harass.
by the way, actually.
Oh yeah, the one on the left, just to make sure he can zone it out a bit.
Oh god. Oh no.
Queens are everywhere.
Oh!
It's a queen nightmare. Okay, so he's fine.
You might want to get out of there, Neeb, before losing that prism.
Yeah. Especially if the two Archons are in at the same time.
And it's going to be an all-in here by Neeb, looks like. 4 more gates. So usually what you do is you wait for like 2 or 3 Immortals. In this case, it's going to be 3, I think. Then you go across the map, you've got the initial 2 Archons, you warp in a ton of Zealots, and you try to end it. It feels, though, in this game, as if Impact knows that this is coming, because he's only making units, and he's not droning up anymore. He's actually got only 1 more drone than the Protoss player. He did a very good job of scouting whether there was a 3rd base or not, which there isn't.
Look at this. It's
So,
a new
Impact?
Immortal all-in.
Yeah. I think that Impact has a great chance to hold this. Like, if you look at the armies here, he's got so much. All he has to do is kite. Shoot the bile, pull back, keep on kiting. Don't get force fielded in a silly way. Don't lose units for free. He's got some good free spread already.
Trying to force field some things off. Guardian Shield's already gone down here. The 3 Archons at the front, tanking up a bit of that damage. There goes some of the force fields, sealing in a lot of those roaches. Bile's going to try and land on some of those units towards the back. Only one of the Archons has gone down thus far. There's quite a few roaches left over with these queens in support. This is looking like a pretty good hold for the moment.
Yeah, I think Impact must have lost to this quite a bit on ladder, because like he was like,
yeah, he knew.
There is no freaking way. The Warp Prism dies, actually.
He's lost everything.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be it. Impact with a super solid defense here. Neeb's going to make another attempt, I guess.
And Lings are coming into the main base as well again. So Mothership Core is there to prevent this from being too irritating, but he's trying to get the 3rd base, and it's going to be difficult. Not only with the army that's available for Impact.
The link drop in the main.
Oh, he just left. Run away.
And I like the Spire behind this, because you can know that Protoss won't have the economy to go for a lot of Blink Stalkers. Yeah. So if you go for a couple of Mutas, then you can harass all over the place. You already have enough Roaches and Ravagers on the ground to win any fight there.
Yep, going to be fine. And he's been spreading his creep quite well during all of this as well. So much so, actually, now that I think about it, the creep spread really helped out in that defense. That he was quite aggressive with it, because he had so much room for vision and positioning against that army.
Yeah, for sure. He had more speed, like everything.
Yeah. It was always one of the better keys to actually dealing with one of those Immortal all-ins way back when. So that helped. And now, that 3rd base is denied, and Neeb is stuck between a Ravager and a hard place. This is not easy.
I think ideally for Neeb, he would have needed to realize that Impact was ready for this. He had too much, and then Neeb could have just expanded and then turtled himself, and then he would have been in a good position. But not knowing there, you know, he just went for it. And when this kind of attack is scouted by a great player and he gets ready for it, he doesn't feel like he should ever win. Oh, nice anticipation there.
Are these the GG mutas? When he sees 9 of them pop out, to just leave?
I mean, there is a couple Stalkers available for Neeb, but the fact that he doesn't have Blink here will make it very hard for him to move around and properly defend. Like, he's preparing for a ground army. You see, like, he's focusing on Immortals, made a bunch of Sentries, some more Zealots. So they're very well maybe, yeah, to answer your question.
And right now they're sticking with the army at the moment, so... but I can just move through the middle of the map, and... he's actually running straight towards the Stalkers, which is the one location that's actually well defended. Oh, Warp Prism. Get away!
Not that many pylons towards the 3rd base, it's just the one there.
Just wants to deny the 3rd base completely. Muta's going to fly around onto the back here with Stalkers actually warping in. They could actually just take that fight with 3 Stalkers.
Yeah. And actually, that was a slow warp in as well. That pylon a little bit too far from the Nexus there. Overcharge. Maybe gonna buy him a bit of time.
Yeah, maybe. Flying on into the main here, though. The Stalkers need to reposition
in the middle
themselves.
of the map, they're engaging.
And actually, that's not too bad a fight there for Neeb for the moment, especially if he was able to get some force fields down, but the army is moving back quite nicely. Mutalisks, can you do anything in the main? Oh, they're going to fly away from the Stalkers. Neeb's combating this.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard for him to engage on the map. That Warp Prism might be targeted here.
Yeah, and his Immortals are at the front of this army as well, so they took a lot of damage. Although 2 DTs, 3 DTs even, warping in. He's trying to focus down those morphing Overseers.
Yeah, so losing those DTs is going to be bad, and I think the rest of the army of Neeb here is going to get sniped.
GG, Impact. Good stuff.
Solid enough throughout. He knew that was like it's one of the builds that's when it first came out, everybody was looking to it. They were like, "What the hell is this attack?"
Yeah.
but now everybody's ready. One of the better ways to sell this is if you start a third Nexus, and then the Zerg doesn't really know where he's at in terms of whether he should get ready for an all-in or for a macro game. But Impact scouting was spot on regardless. He went for Pneumatized Carapace, so he kept on flying around with Overlords, even dropping links, picking them up and leaving, forcing some units of Neeb to stay at home. So he always knew exactly where he was. He saw that there was no way there was going to be a third base, just made a ton of units. He played this right, and he won.
Yeah, I always recall as well Newkirk Precinct being a little bit one of the harder maps, I would say, for Protoss against Zergs, because the third base is pretty difficult to claim in certain areas, and that's why we actually saw quite a lot of all-ins way back when on this map.
Well, we saw him. Well, I mean, we saw it on the Swamos era, though. It's a little bit different, I guess, in a way.
Ah, Swarm hosts.
If only.
Obviously, very, very different nowadays. Neeb, invite, please. We will hopefully get into the next game very soon. Please here too. Everyone's just about invite her. How's the other maps going?
Yeah, we've got Hero against Innovation taking place right now. They're playing on Valley and Heroes. All inning looks like.
Oh, great. Oh, great. That's cool.
That's on Golden stream, I think. Yeah.
Golden
and then
stream.
on Base Trade, we've got a ZVT. Who's that? Darren. Is that Dream?
Versus somebody. Who was
Let me check.
against? Daybreak's going to be our next map. So I think it's probably been at least 2 years since I've cast a map of Daybreak.
Yeah, Dream against Linok on Base Trade.
Nice.
So a lot of good games all around.
Yeah, some great games going on across the board. Huh. All right, so 1-1 currently here between Impact and Neeb. As you said, Neeb is still in Korea, correct?
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's probably in the best spot for a non-Korean to try and compete here in this qualifier. No delay. And it's a big deal. Big deal.
You know, in Korea, they have like, by default, the internet is like, 100 megabytes or something like ridiculous fast. But you know, like apparently it's not enough. They wanna make it like mandatory that it's like 1 giga or something.
Oh. The province, the promised land of Korea. That's fantastic.
It feels like kind of useless in a way, like you have 100 megabytes, like it's
pretty good.
What are you gonna do with 1 gig? You're gonna download the internet or something? Like
the whole internet. Yeah, cool.
It's like, I guess every time you buy a game and you have to download it, it takes like 2 minutes.
I was wondering what we were waiting for, and then I found out what.
No, I accepted already, but
you did?
it bugged.
Oh.
Yeah, look,
Okay.
I accepted now.
I accept your reasoning. All right. Daybreak on the way. Let's see. I can't even remember the full layout of this map anymore.
Oh, you will very fast.
Yeah, I know. Probably. Jeez, been so long. So okay, now yeah, I remember the thirds. That one towards the middle that was always funny.
You don't remember all the motherships and Archon toilets?
Yeah,
of
yeah, I
MC
do.
and stuff.
Archon toilet. Oh, glorious. My pen's breaking. All right, let's get into it. Game number 3 here in this best of 3. One will advance on to fight against Bjol, I believe.
Bjol.
Bjol. All right, okay, let's go. Spawning up to the top right-hand corner, of course, it is our blue Protoss. Once again, it's Neeb, representing Ting. You have to say it like that, like the sound. And then spawn down at the bottom left-hand corner, it's Impact in the yellow. So. Yeah, I remember this now. Ooh.
Tell me, what memory do you vividly remember?
I remember Broodlords moving across the middle of this map, breaking down these rocks and being scary as anything.
If you remember Broodlords moving, you're already wrong.
You're a funny guy. Imagine a world where Broodlord Infestor had the new Infestor, where it was always burrowed and it could like cast everything it wanted to.
Please.
Scary thoughts.
Impact previously of Axiom, then joined SK Telecom T1 and is currently looking for a team. A lot of these players are after the Pro League, I don't know what to call it, disbandment, or is that even an English word? No?
The disbanding of, yeah.
That's the disbanding of Pro League. Bjol is as well. Messaged me earlier, telling me he was looking for a foreign team, asked me how I could help. I told him, make a tweet, I'll retweet it. Because I didn't know what else to say.
I mean, yeah, that's probably as good a help as any, I guess. I don't know, Todd. I mean, why don't you just make your own team?
Team Todd.
Yeah, Team Todd.
Nobody, because nobody would want to join it.
No? Oh, okay. I'd join your team, Todd. I don't know how useful that'd be, but I'd join your team.
By the way, Bjorn has a great Twitter.
Yeah?
He's like, so tired, ... Next tweet, poor life, ... Sigh.
Wow.
Next tweet, we like to party.
So it's Hook's Twitter, basically. That was a while ago. All these throwbacks. Everyone's just watching this like, is it a rerun? I can't tell. It's really weird. But anyway, Twilight Council again. Looks like Mr. Neeb is going to go for the potential of the last setup again. But the thing is that it's very flexible actually what he's doing, because he showed from game 1 to 2 the same kind of opener with the Twilight Council. Then he goes Resonating Glaives with one, then he goes Dark Shrine with the other. So it leaves it a bit up in the air here for Impact as to what's going on.
It feels like he's just mastered these adepts. Opener and control that he likes to go for it pretty much all the time. I think throwing in a Stargate here and there with an Oracle would be nice, because the defense is the opposite of playing against adepts. You know, against adepts you want to get anti-ground and stuff. Against targets you want to get spores, maybe some more queens and stuff. But maybe he knows that most good Zergs, they go for resonating pneumatized carapace, sorry. So that they will be able to scout it anyway. So he's like, I'm not even gonna bother.
Yeah, it feels like more than ever pneumatized carapace is super useful early on in the game, because everyone's just like, well, what are you doing? There are a few options definitely available here, as he will have that done pretty soon. So he'll be able to get in there with an Overlord. A few Zerglings poisoned themselves at the front as well, just in case anything was moving out.
Ooh, Hero won game 1 against Innovation, actually.
Oh, nice. Hero, the multiple time.
Yeah, actually, now that I think of it, he's bound to qualify, pretty much.
That's
which
true.
is his story with the Intel Extreme Masters.
Yeah, imagine that. He comes to another one, he wins another one. That would be crazy. Although, I mean, there was a period, I think was it this year or the end of last year, where Hero did fall off significantly.
Oh yeah, like, we're seeing a lot less of him for sure.
Yeah.
Like he's had a pretty stacked qualifier here already so far. He beat Dragon in his first match, then he beat Bunny.
Yeah.
And now he's facing Innovation and winning, so that's 3 Terrans so far. And then he would face either Neeb or Bjorn in next round. And that would be the qualifying round, by the way.
Yeah. So we will be casting that one for sure later on. Roach Warren on the way for Impact. As just transferring some drones down there. And let's see how this Resonating Glaives is going to fare. No.
So many links were made. I think he was expecting an attack for sure here. But he didn't come.
Yeah, that's a lot of drones cost.
Oh, he could get a cancel on the third base if Neeb's out of position. It looks like he's going to be... The Mothership Core is too far for an overcharge.
Oh, that's a bit of a disaster here for Neeb. Losing that. Stargate is going down during all of this
Neeb's
as well.
just going to counter-attack, I think.
I mean, it would force a lot more unit production here.
He was already almost across the map. I think Impact expects it, so he's getting roaches. Double Stargate behind this.
Ooh, all right. So he really wants to establish himself that third for sure.
Nice evacuation here of that base, but the hatchery is going to take a lot of damage. He might have... I don't think he could have gotten it, I guess.
Yeah.
The goal is to go for drones. Obviously, there's so many queens there. He cancels.
And the Lings, he knows they'll be on the way back in a little bit. They are trying to get into the main base.
Was on the cancelled third base.
Did he get the probe down there, or was that a new probe that was sent down?
Probably a new one.
Yeah.
Phoenix production's now going to begin. And Adepts across the map trying to get some snipes. He got a couple workers, 4, but it's really not that much.
Lings coming in again.
Oh, maybe those in the third base can get some snipes.
Is he going to force the cancel again? Oh my god. It's going to be close. Lings! No.
Yeah, they die.
Oh well.
Is he going to transfer those Adepts on the natural? He lets 2 go through. Yeah, that's going to be quite a few drones dying, actually.
Yeah, really good to just let the 2 magic number get themselves some drones for free. Well, not really for free, but you get what I mean. It's going to be Phoenix with that +1 weapons on the way. Added on.
Neeb's all over the place. Sniping drones left and right. Finally bringing that walker count back up.
I think this is the game where we see our Hydras, Todd. What do you think?
Yeah. But I would love it if Neeb wouldn't die too fast. So,
so you can kind of get an air of what to do.
He's getting +1, which is great against Queens. Like Roti always talks about this every time somebody's going Phoenixes. He's like, why didn't he get +1? You pick up the Queens and they die instantly. Yeah, okay, well, looks like Neeb's getting it.
Would you call this a Roti build?
Well, I mean, you have to get the Dark Shrine with it to get a cancel on the 4th base if you want to get a Roti build. Fleet Beacon!
Oh, here we go. I mean, at this point, when I watch Protoss, I just call anything a Roti build. And he's like, yeah, that's my build. Probably not. But anyway, Phoenix are going to fly into the natural and try and, third base even, I should say, and get themselves a few lifts. But actually, those roaches are posing quite a threat.
Yeah, I mean, there's overcharges available. They won't do anything.
Guess the pylon, though.
Neeb reacts. Another, actually, he has another pylon down there, which he didn't use.
Yeah. It's a bit odd.
Couple overlords being sniped across the map. Supply lead for Neeb, who's going for a 3rd Stargate. So the carrier production, I'm guessing, is going to be in the plans. I've been waiting for this.
And we do have those spines being researched here for those Hydralisks. So here we go. It's carriers versus Hydras. It's all brand new, Todd.
I cannot wait, man. Again, so to cover the changes to the carriers, the interceptor ability, the release interceptor ability has been removed. And the interceptors now cost 5 minerals instead of 25. So basically, let me clarify, they're free.
Yeah.
And they auto-build from the start by default. So you don't even need to click anymore. They just literally build by themselves and then autopilot themselves and then win the game by themselves.
I mean, the thing is that looking at this setup as a whole, he has to know that carriers are on the way. Seeing how many Phoenix are out already, etc. And probably
what is he gonna do about
on
it?
them.
That's the question. Because Ascona McGregor would say, you'll do nothing.
You do nothing. You'll do nothing. I can't even do the Irish accent. I'll try one day. But this is going to be difficult. I mean, he's getting the Graviton Catapult as well.
Look at the game sense by Impact. He's going to find the 4th base and get a cancel, I think.
Just a few lings alone.
And as I said, at these stops,
yeah.
the home story cup curse. You saw that video?
I did see that. I mean,
he walks away. No.
I watched the whole tournament anyway.
Yeah.
So I watched it all unfold live. It was great.
What was the most ridiculous one?
The
Roti's defense, like when he says the defense.
There was the Widow Mine was good, but
yeah.
Petit Drogo was where he's like, he's gonna crush this.
Yeah.
And then just GG's. That was great. Loved it.
Sick, man.
Yeah. Oh.
Never lucky.
All right, Phoenix still doing some more harassment. Ling's trying to do something, and now they find the carriers, and it's gonna be difficult.
Oh God! If he does not see this attack coming.
Now, one of the things people were theorizing on Twitter, on Reddit, was the idea of going for Corruptors with armor. Is that one of the answers that you think, or do you think Hydras are enough to actually deal with this?
I mean, it usually depends about the early game. Like, if you're ahead against carriers, like, it's pretty easy. Like, it feels you can do almost whatever you want and you'll win. But in this game, it feels like Neeb is putting enough work that carriers are going to be, like, super good and relevant. So, I don't think, personally, that in this game, going for Corruptors with armor would particularly be that good. I think like maybe maxing on Hydralisks and then doing an attack might be a better way, and I think that's what Impact intends on doing.
All right, well, he's got a few Roaches mixing in as well, actually, which I guess against exclusively carrier isn't going to do very much, and even the real Mothership is going to be morphing in here for these carriers. So
I don't think that Impact can wait for too long, by the way. Like, if he waits much longer, and then we have, like, 12 carriers, it kind of feels like, oh, the fights that I've seen, that Zerg cannot win anymore, really.
Yeah.
Whereas now he will have a lot of roaches on the ground, getting rid of the ground army of Neeb, and those Hydralisks will deal very nicely with the interceptors and then carriers. But overcharge can be very good against this if you have multiple pylons to help. So I love that Impact is going on to that 4th base where there is only one pylon, and the cannons are not even ready. It's a clutch timing. He might have, I think Neeb might just evacuate here.
Yeah, gotta leave.
Oh, he's gonna fight. That could be, that would be a big mistake, I think.
How many carriers does he have? 6 at the moment. Okay. He's getting the Infestation Pit down as well. He actually started to look down for a moment and then cancelled it instantly, realizing there's probably not much ground army he's going to have to deal with at all. As the Interceptors start killing roaches, they kill them fast. Bile trying to kill some Interceptors. I think he hit more of his own units than the Interceptors. But 10 more Hydralisks gone maybe in production. He's pushing on quite hard against this. +2 weapons has finished for these carriers as well. So these ground units are getting ripped apart. But the Hydras are killing quite a few Interceptors.
Yeah, +3 air weapons is on the way. And Neeb needs to be patient. He's trying to assemble the perfect army there. And Impact has no intention of letting him get there. He goes for these pylons, but he's taking so much damage.
How many Hydras are left quite a lot still here, and there's actually being dealt with quite well by the Adepts on the ground, picking up a lot of these Hydralisks, and the carriers just did not die during all of that. He got some interceptors, but carriers surviving.
How many interceptors are left? 24. Okay, he rebuilt.
Yeah.
Those take 6 seconds to build, so they come back pretty quickly.
And the thing is, you're not killing off the carriers here with these Hydras, whereas the Hydras are dying.
Yeah.
So it's a costly investment here for the Zerg.
I think like this attack, it seemed nice at first, but I don't know if Impact should have been fighting. Like, he can remax faster. Neeb moving out, though, that could be a mistake.
There's one carrier for every 3 Hydralisks.
Yeah, he's got... I think he might have enough here. Like, this is what I was talking about. When you reach enough carriers, keep in mind, like, Neeb, he doesn't even have +3 yet. Imagine when he will get +3. He's just wrecking this army.
And it's
completely.
rapidly approaching. He's not even chrono boosting into it. He could do that and just be in a great spot, but he's just chrono boosting into all of the Stargates. And there's going to be more carriers rendezvousing with this very soon. And he still has 50 interceptors. They're just going to chew through this.
Pulling the drones here against this army even. Phoenix is going to pick up some of these Hydralisks. Neeb absolutely wrecking Impact in game number 3. And it looks like he's going to take the win.
Well, and it seems like the Hydralisks were not the answer for those carriers.
Wow.
GG. Neeb will advance on to play against Bjorn.
Okay, well. That was already pretty much the case, but I now know the build I'm going to do every single game against Zerg.
Yeah? Okay, cool. As long as you survive to the 3-base scenario, etc., and blah, blah, blah. Or are you okay at doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. All right, cool.
Maybe not, but
Just
I'll try.
make some carriers, kill everything. I like it.
Okay, Hero is still playing against Innovation. It looks like he might be winning, in which case he would be Hero against Neeb.
Wait. No.
Yeah. No?
Hero's against Bjorn now, no?
Oh, yeah.
And then Hero would be against either Bjorn or Neeb.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be cool. And that would be a qualifying match. Imagine if it was Hero versus Neeb.
I skipped forward a little bit too far.
Yeah, you were
Bjorn's
well
been
eager.
waiting as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Neeb will win against Bjorn, and then he will.
All right, okay. So I think we're going to a break, and then when we are back, hopefully we'll have another series for you in just a little bit. Don't go anywhere for the Intel Extreme Masters Qualifier.